Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are we doing today? I know there are going to be a few people on today, and we are going to play a good game of Whack-A-Troll. So, give me just a second, and we will be ready in just a few. So, yes, we are definitely live. So, definitely let us know where you're coming in from, and we will definitely give a shout out. One second. Eastern Tennessee, Oklahoma. Okay, give me a second, guys. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna try to give somebody access. And yeah. Give me a second. Okay, we are gearing up to play Whack-A-Troll, so okay, time for I need that email address time. Just text it to me so I can add you in. So I'm trying to I'm waiting for something real quick and then we will get started because I think things are going to get a little bit heated for a little while shortly. So bear with me. I do have DT in the back. Yeah, so okay. I have to. Good morning. We are. I had to verify everything, so we are going to have a little bit of fun this morning. We're gonna go through, and we're gonna have a little bit of a fun time. We're not gonna get real in depth and go way out there, but we're gonna cover a few issues and we're gonna have a lot of fun. So we're gonna go through it and
Hello.
How are we doing this morning, B?
I have my Texas shirt on for the Rio Grande, as you can see. So we we got to make sure that we stay focused, because
Yeah.
people would love to extort information, and I don't know why, but divide when the whole the whole cause is to reassure and give hope and light, and why people would want to cast dispersions upon somebody at this time and lie about things.
We'll do
It's
a roll call real
confounding.
quick,
I don't know why that would be. I certainly I just wanted to say that one of my management teams said that what is it? Liars always figure, but figures never lie.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a roll call real quick and
Go
just run
ahead.
through it.
I would love that. I can actually see some people. Hi, and we have some people that have come over, and it's fantastic. So let's just shine light on what's affirmative and great.
Okay, so we have Martinsburg, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, North Carolina, Illinois, Texas, Washington State, Maryland, Pennsylvania, another Maryland, Missouri, North Carolina, California, South Carolina, another California, Kentucky, Tennessee. Well, I think we're getting pretty. Oh, we have Florida, another Pennsylvania, South Dakota. Yeah, there are some that I recognize, and there are some that I don't. Guys,
Right.
we are going to play a gigantic game of Whack-A-Troll. I have a feeling it's gonna be kind of fun. So bear with us a little bit. We'll have.
Yeah, unfortunately, but you know
we
what?
will
I mean,
definitely have some fun. But
yeah, I had my. Go ahead.
happy April Fool's Day.
Right. Wow. Right. So it is ironic. It is ironic. It's not lost on us. I mean, or on me.
Ohio is in the house as well.
That it's April Fool's Day. I said, is this Biden's birthday? Is it April Fool's Day? No.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You would think.
I mean, I think
mean,
I think it should go on the calendar. It should become official nationally. I think Trump will probably take care of that from Mar-a-Lago. He's probably drafting something right now, an official statement.
Arizona. Welcome. And I know we're probably going to have somebody from New Mexico. We have a couple of new followers that came in, and they're coming in from Nevada.
Hi guys, I can see you, by the way, today. I mean, that's really great because sometimes I couldn't in other places. I'll just leave it there. So it's really nice to be able to see people.
So yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of fun, and we're gonna we're gonna keep it lighthearted. I know we talked yesterday. Well, we had our interview, and
we had like a pre thing, and then you kind of took a little snippet of it, and kind of
we talked after we stopped recording. You had an announcement that you are getting ready to make. Are you wanting to make that announcement now?
Sure. I mean, I think the cat's out of the bag, and it's a little early, actually, as it turns out. But it's really not the first time I'm saying it, but it's the first time here. Well, this is my first show. I mean, this is my first live show with you, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And guys,
and by the way, before I make this announcement, I want to say something, okay? I mean, not about anything derogatory. Because covering disparaging tracks is not a great vibration. So we'll just leave that there for now. I will get to something that will be definitive here in a little bit. But I just want to talk about you just for a second. I just want to give you some cred and some kudos. I hear that, while we just met, that you are a father of 4 and your wife has triplets on the way. My God. I thought horses and, entertainment and, my life was like, and then I would throw in for the people, like trying to bring truth and integrity and hope and try to disseminate information while the election fraud happened because we're all pissed off. Right. And to bring the affirmative light in and to find the truth as we went along. But my God, I can't imagine having kids running around and 3 on the way. And I just want to give my hat off to you young man, my son over there, because you've got to be the best daddy of all time. So,
well, I try.
God bless you.
And I have a saint of a wife.
Aw.
Otherwise, because I wouldn't be able to do anything about this. If it would have been 6 to 9 months ago, and I told her I was going to start doing live streaming, she probably would have looked at me and she would have been like, "Yeah, go get an effing job." Period. Full stop.
Right.
And I'm
Right. So for
and I would
everybody,
probably had to agree with her.
right. So for everybody, remember that in general, we don't need undue credit or anything like that, but we do bring it to bear only for love, not for deception, not to hoodwink you, not to create more derision and chaos, but to bring hope and light. Let's keep that focused, because that's all that we're doing. And that's all that we would, and I would never be a part of anything else. So everybody knows it, because you can always sense bullshit. I love to say stuff every now and then. Every once in a while, a really provocative, pivotal, well-placed profanity word really kind of resides and resounds. And horses can sense fear. You know what I mean? The people, you can't hoodwink people for very long. You might be able to do it for a little bit, but you can't do it forever. People's intuition and discernment, especially in this whole chaos world right now, I mean, it's dialed up. People's ability to sense a fraud or a grifter is very been heightened, right? So I mean, you know, we all know.
Yep. It's one thing that has been brought to my attention. I actually received several text messages from people, and I'm going to kind of dive into this head first. I got a message from several people saying that I charge. And anybody who has known me from the very beginning, from the very first time I actually started my broadcast, I don't charge anything. I make it known that if people want to
Not
donate,
yet, no. I'm kidding.
no, I don't, and I will
Right.
never.
Right.
If people want to donate, they can donate. If they want to buy something,
I want to
they can
encourage
buy.
people to donate to you directly, just for those kids.
But
Come on.
what I
send me
don't
anything.
push
I don't have any
push the
kids.
products. If people come up with ideas like we had last night that came up, and I want to give a shout out to Miss Erin, because I did put together a t-shirt that literally said exactly what she put on, and I'm gonna read exactly what it says, just so people actually are aware of what the shirt says. I identify as fully vaccinated.
Oh yeah, right. I love that.
So we do have those shirts.
I come with a list of pronouns, but they're short. Vaccinated. That's it. Yeah. That should get you in all the stores.
But I got an April Fool's Day joke played on me a few minutes ago. My friend sent me a text message. She got her check and wanted to know if I received mine. I said 3330 or 3,330. She said yes. I said, "Oh, let me look." She gave me a minute and then told me April Fool's. Yeah, that's
very informative, though, and actually astute. And if y'all don't know the reference, the lady that is heading the NESARA GESARA Quantum Financial Reset worldwide already sent out 7.3 billion to 7.3 billion different separate names of humankind that are chronicled right now on Earth. $3,330 to have the first deposit be a verifiable transaction before the rest of all past income taxes were deposited as this whole thing comes in. And so that person knows the figure, which is really good. Now, she came upon a glitch, so we hear. I don't know anything definitely more about that. That was right around the time when the stimulus payments were hitting people's accounts. This most recent one that has Donald J. Trump's name on it, by the way. Like, you know, you just can't keep up with this stuff. It's wonderful. The only legislation that the Pentagon has recognized that Biden has signed, the clone Biden, was the stimulus checks for the American people that had Donald J. Trump's name on it. So I mean, it's fantastic.
And
I always love that.
there are some people who got checks and stuff that had it in the memo block. There are some people who did not. We had our first roll and they got slapped down.
Yeah, I see a PPN thing over there. So while we have them here, let's just go ahead and handle this now, okay?
Go for it.
Okay. So we have all members that I didn't ever, when Chaz Carter called our farm here and screamed at us and called us liars for setting up a fraudulent account behind his back. And we told him nothing like that happened. He was screaming so loud, as loud as you could scream. That's how loud he was screaming at us. So I'm not slandering anybody. I am correcting slander against that's a definite defamation of character. So let me set this straight. So we have all of that information and screenshots and the audio that was released over there. So I've told them to cease and desist because I'm not shrinking or hiding from anything. And I don't understand how they think that they're going to benefit from trying to go down this road, but let's end it here. And then we'll get back to the light, which they should have been up to the entire time. Okay. So first and foremost, Dinah Smith is one of the owners and she has a PayPal account. I'm just going to put it right out there. And all financial transactions and all your membership fees and my consultation fees never came to me. And I have all records of that. They only went to her. And they have alleged that I have taken money and stolen it from other people. I don't have any access to those accounts. And I have all of the records saying so. So you can just drop your con and your ruse about slandering my name anymore. Everybody knows the truth. The truth is that that's impossible. You all now know all of my consultations with people. They know exactly the PayPal account that they sent their money to. And they know it wasn't my PayPal account. So they already all know. So you can just stop it now. We're just going to put you right on out there. We're not saying anything slanderous about you. We're countering the ruse that you would like to perpetrate. Okay, so cease and desist. Okay, by the way, if you were in business while the American people were already defrauded once in trying to capitalize on their heartache, that is shameful and you should be ashamed of yourselves. I'm very happy that we did part ways. I'm very happy that it happened in the way that it happened. And by the way, I'm still owed, and I've told the 2 consultation members for 2 consultations that I have not been paid. So your projection of saying I was stealing actually was projection. That's theft by deception. Let me not make a mistake. Let me say it very clearly. That is theft by deception. You hear it? All the members that have been told to come over today to report this live stream, bear in mind that all financial transactions can only happen through Dinah Smith and through her PayPal. And that all of that was meant to swindle a narrative to put defamation of character on my name. I don't know for what. I mean, I've told you, Shane, I'm like, what benefit does it do to try to paint somebody into a bad light if the whole time you've been trying to bring light and hope to the people? Everybody knows. Everybody knows exactly. You can feel me from here. You know absolutely. That's one thing about the truth.
As far as something that is,
I'm a clean conscience.
Definitely being brought up. Yeah, there are some that know, some people that don't.
Well, they do now, and thank you for coming over.
I'm gonna be crystal clear.
Yeah,
I
didn't stutter. Yeah,
I'm not going to take stuff sitting down. I was put in danger. I left of my own accord. There was a conversation, and anybody who I'm going to give you a little tidbit of information for any of you legal scholars who are trolling the account.
I know, because you have your own history, unfortunately. It's too bad.
An NDA is only binding within 50 miles of a dedicated business. Well, guess what? When I was working with the other channel, I was a sole person in this state in which the business was actually filed in. So 50 miles, anything outside of 50 miles is not, you can take it to court, whatever. I don't care. But
well, we're so busy working as generously and willingly and lovingly bringing as light workers. And let's not, this is what I love. Unsolicited publicity, I'm sure that they would love to have. Now, while I appreciate you, we have a screenshot, by the way, of this network telling all of their members to go over today to report the sharing of the light or my response to being castigated and defamed. Isn't that interesting? Why would that be? Why would that be?
There are people who are saying
you just can't keep up with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And there are people that are saying, let's move on. And I agree.
Yes, let's move on. We don't need all the drama. And I'm sure that they would love it. By the way, it's not going to end. I wasn't the first one that was ever like treated this way. They will continue. Let's let them go and continue that.
Yep.
Okay. So let's go back to light. We have a couple breaking things that I brought today, and then we'll talk about other things. But Daddy, I appreciate you. We just met, and I mean it. Fathers like you and families, fathers like you and families are brilliant. I am for the American dream. I'm for the ensuring of civil liberties that people are. There was a great man, and I forgot exactly his name. Somebody might say it in the comments, that said, never, ever forfeit a pound of liberty for an ounce of security. And many Americans have easily been swindled to mask up and now feared down that they must get jabbed with a poison that's not been isolated or vetted or cleared in testing trials. And now they're going to let their kids be masked and it's just a slippery slope into this like cancellation of American liberties.
And Benjamin Franklin was the one who originally.
Good. Great. Yeah. So, I mean, I knew somebody did. So is that true you're saying?
Benjamin Franklin, what he said is, if you surrender an ounce of liberty for an ounce of security, you deserve neither. Yeah.
So I kind of like
combobulated
that. But the same thing, but it's carrying the same intent.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who have changed it over the 235 years or whatever.
It got swindled in translation. Okay.
So it's been changed over the years, but I mean, it's really kind of interesting to sit there and watch a lot of what the founding fathers have said and all of that.
Yeah. I mean, it got put in, these guys were brilliant. I think that they were light seeds from other times that all corralled on purpose for the shift in consciousness and the decree cry from Great Britain into wanting freedom at any cost to this continent. And in so doing, that mind shift. Now there were fights and there was a lot of infighting, and it wasn't fun, and it wasn't nice. They weren't really having a good time when they drafted this veto thing. Hey, by the way, before I continue, I want to bring up, how they stopped teaching our children how to do cursive, how to do freehand handwriting.
Oh yes, so
in school, so they wouldn't be able to understand the language in our original drafted preamble of the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights. And that is just so Orwellian and so dark. But I mean, I kind of hear that and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I think it was a little short video that somebody sent me whereby her son goes, Mama, what language is this written in? And she goes, honey, that's English. And he's like, no, I can't read it. And she's like, what? it's handwriting. You can read that. He goes, no, they don't teach us that anymore. I'm like, oh my God. Well, that's kind of crazy. So now it actually kind of inspired me. What I wanted to do was I wanted to, like, now instead of text messaging, I want to have a piece of paper with a beautiful pen, because I actually have really pretty handwriting. It goes along with being an artist or piano player or songwriter, whatever. And I want to write all my notes beautifully written and then take a picture of them and then include that as a JPEG as all my messages from now on. It's pretty funny. Anyway, maybe just in my head.
Oh, I'm having fun.
So hello, everybody. We see you. Yeah, cursive helps the dyslexic. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. That's interesting. Well, you have to stay with it longer, right? Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to say that when the founding fathers drafted the things that they did, they really were looking into the future, almost as if they had the Montauk chair. They were seeing the decrepit nature of how greed and corruption gets thwarted. I mean, look at our government, how big it is. They say that power corrupts, and then absolute power corrupts absolutely. And you can see how people with even, like, and we won't refer by name again, but you can see how people with even a small little tiny piece of power and leverage can extort it and abuse it. So, I mean, imagine like presidents, right? And Pelosi's and Schiff's and Schumer's and Feinstein's and Waters and all the people that have been, and Biden's, you know, I mean, they've been up there forever doing nothing, taking your money and having a big old time and a big old party, but they haven't been vested in your interest and improving your life.
Yeah. One, just, you know, it's cursive is actually a dying art.
Oh, absolutely. Do you remember calligraphy? Remember when we thought cursive, our beautiful cursive, was good enough, and then here would come along this guy that could do calligraphy, and we're like, screw you, you know. But I'm like, oh my God, I could never do calligraphy.
There was, in my high school, we actually had a calligraphy class.
Yeah, remember that?
And
remember typing class? We had a typing class. Oh. I remember Barbara Streisand, not to drop a name, but I just did. She told us once that something. She's like, well, when I very first got my thought, my mother wanted me to take typing and everything, and so I grew my nails real long because I didn't want to go into typing. I wanted to, you know, go into entertainment and be a singer and an actress. And I'm like, oh, well, that was pretty good, I guess. I'd never thought of growing my nails out so I wouldn't have to type, but that was her story.
If you were to ask what PNN is, guys, we cover the mainstream, and it's more of a conservative talk show more than anything else. We cover a lot of different topics. So sometimes a little outside of what most
some of us coming from space, you know, I mean, just floating around like I always do.
We have people who will go down the rabbit holes that I can't go down. So
yeah, and so that's why I'm here. Yeah,
but I mean, new to the channel. Welcome. Okay. Going back to the calligraphy thing.
Yeah, sure.
I was a senior in high school, and they finally got they got rid of it when I was a senior in high school, and I had to do student teaching over in the first and second grade, which is when I started to learn how to write cursive. I'm not very good at it. I can read it, but I'm not very good at it. And sat down and trying to teach these kids cursive, and the teacher looks at me and says, we don't teach that anymore.
Yeah, thank you, core math. Yeah.
Because quite honestly, guys, this is something that's more important to people now, and it started to gain prevalence when I was a senior in high school, and that's the Xbox. So
see, for us back in the day, it was Pong. I know, and you're like, what the hell is Pong?
Yeah, when people were,
that's how it started. Somebody can relate to that. I know that they can.
Yeah, I never
look. It used to be your television. Okay, kids join in. Get all the grandkids around. Grandpa's gonna tell you a story. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, come close. Well, there used to be big old pieces of furniture that sat on the shag carpeting, and they weighed about 1,000 pounds. And then you would pile everything on top of that. And as that broke down, you got another TV and it sat on that. And pretty soon you're building like a Kubota, you know. Anyway, so when Pong came out, I guess it was the 70s. Anyways, we were like, oh my God, look at this. We can interact with the television. And you could put this little thing console in, and it was like it would only go up like ding, ding, and a ball went, and you kind of brought the paddle up to hit the ball to the other thing, and that's what you had, baby. And that was like, wow, and that would keep us entertained for hours, keep us out of trouble.
Yeah, and I mean it's do I okay? I'm gonna address this real quick. Do I think
Okay.
a system similar to the Scandinavian style of education and policies subsidize university fees would transition well in America? No, everybody, guys. Honestly, you do have the right to get an education, K through 12. That taxpayers already pay for that.
Mm. Well,
I
and yeah.
Not everybody and their
Well,
dog is okay. So if you give free education, everybody and their dog wants to go to a higher education school and all that. Well, that's what they claim. That is the nuance that they use.
Yeah.
However, here's the thing that here's the thing that I really kind of take at the heart of things. When you start when the taxpayers are subsidizing or covering the expenses of higher education,
yeah.
right now you're putting undue burden on people and you're enslaving them
Right.
to the system.
Yeah, it goes part and parcel with the big government, and then it ultimately corruption and private little things happen, and then the money gets extorted and never gets applied down to the trickle point. But more importantly, you guys, right now, there's a much more Orwellian, draconian thing happening, and that's the children are remanded not only to have masks on all day at the 9,000 millihertz level of CO2 going in and out all day with no free air anymore. Children aren't allowed to breathe oxygen anymore. Okay, so let's go to the elephant in the middle of the room here. Now, we also see in elementary schools, there isn't a moment that you can raise your hand and go to the bathroom. You have to wait for a select hour. And then all children masked up have to line up on either side of the hallway 6 feet apart and not talk, heads down, military prison style. Then when the sounding of this alarm, they are like a Pavlov's dog, allowed to go outside of the school, and they have to turn around and line up outside on the grass. There they have to stay 6 feet apart. I'm not kidding. I have the video. The elementary school kid age. Okay, this is crazy. This is criminal. This should not be happening in America. Then when the bell rings from inside the big loudspeaker, then one by one they're allowed to go in. They're filed into a computer. By this time they probably already wet their pants. They're allowed to go into the bathroom. They come out. They're unlocked from the computer. They have to go back outside, get back to the back of the line until they wait for everybody's allowed to go back into the classroom. Bullshit. Okay, so talk about like what kind of education should we have? How about let's start with the fact that they're being robbed of oxygen. Okay,
And
this
freedom.
is my thing. This is my thing, and you say you can't go things. I can. So this is my announcement. Don't get tested. Don't get vaccinated. Pull your kids out of school immediately. Allow Nasser Jazeera to come in. Allow the military operation that's been ongoing to complete itself and right this wrong and stop this madness across the United States and all countries around the world. I have friends in Great Britain. You don't want to hear the horror stories. Lockdown number 18, you know. I have friends up in Canada. They're watching now. People from Canada are watching now. People from Essex, London are watching now. People from Latin America. I've got I manage some artists down there. In their own way, they're aware. And anyways, so I kind of went long-winded there, but
I mean, quite honestly,
it's an outrage. It outrages me.
Or the Orwellian takeover. I mean, guys, there was a time in the United States where the unions did some good. And I'm going to throw that premise out there. And guys, this
especially in the
is
trucking
my
and the
opinion.
supply chain. Yeah.
this is my opinion. I'm not gonna. I'm throwing that out. It is my opinion. There are people who are pushing these unions and pushing the teachers unions and all this to do all this. The teachers unions are gaining way more power than they should. When you look at the politicians that you elect from the states in which they come from, you look at their donations. Where are 90% of their donations coming from? You're looking at teachers unions and other unions. Okay, so how do you take care of, how do you actually take back the power from the unions? You poll and you bring to light who's actually backing these people.
Yeah.
Who's actually putting, because
this is the thing. Yeah, this is the thing about the American people and people in general about what's going on right now. This isn't just Germany, and this isn't just 9/11, and this isn't just the assassination of JFK. This is all of it times a billion, because they've done it on purpose to finally pull their final card to depopulate the entire planet. If you didn't hear from another platform that I was recently attached to or known from, which I won't mention because they would love that, you will know that there's a set of granite guidestones in Alberton, Georgia, along the roadside. I think it's State Road 60. And on it are the new 10 commandments for, it's called the Age of Reason. And number 1 is to reduce world population to under 500 million. That means exterminating right now 6.8 billion of you. Why would that be? Why? Why would that be? Why would we need that? Have you ever been to the desert Southwest or anything west of the Mississippi? Do you know how much land that we have in the U.S. alone that's empty? We are not overcrowded here, okay? So it's a dubious agenda. What? Bill Gates' Agenda 2021 that was changed to Agenda 2030 to depopulate.
Okay, going down those same roads. I actually did some research.
It all ties together.
I did some research, and we have so much land mass here in the United States.
We could put them all in Texas. We could put them all in. I mean, all in Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody on the face of this earth, and they would have 2 acres of land.
All 7.3 billion people right now could all have a 2,500 square foot home in Alaska right now and have what, 200,000 square miles left over, something like that.
Yeah. And
so I mean, just come on.
That's giving them all 2 acres a person.
I mean, you know, and I love the desert Southwest. I love driving the old Route 66. If you haven't done it, when we go on tour, it's my favorite places. I love to go. I love to go out there and run in the desert and free and just up in the rocks. And too many people piled into cities. In my book, you want me to do it? Okay, no. But I do have a book, and you guys know about it. Most of you do. I write about a lot of things, and one of them is the importance of, in times like these, in any time where they would love to yank the rug out from underneath you and all of a sudden you're vulnerable, is to not be piled into the cities for all the obvious reasons, for all of the things that they could extort or swindle on you, like pulling your power, pulling your water, pretty soon they block all the bridges and then they trap the people. It's like, just use your common sense, you know, like get out on a little piece of land, win it if you can, which, by the way, the money that's coming into Sarah Desera for just past taxes alone, everybody will be able to find their little happy plot with their 2 goats, a mule, and Sister Sarah. I think that's an old movie. But yeah. And I mean, there'll be plenty of money for Shane and his brood of 7 chicks. Are you gonna start your own family band like the Partridge Family? Is it gonna be like a thing?
Probably not.
That's way before you don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay.
So it was kind of funny because the other night we were laughing and joking around. Last night, I'm sure you've seen it, but we were having a good old time.
And yeah, you sent it to me. You guys are being naughty.
Did you watch it all?
No, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
they were discussing the TikTok pants.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, pink shirts and TikTok pants. And they were telling Jason and I we should wear them. Like, not a chance. And then they're like, and then you should sing.
Oh, I've got some really, yeah, sure. Absolutely.
For me, I sing like a bullfrog stuck on a hot iron. So I don't I don't sing.
Right. Oh, let me put this out there, a little shameless thing. So you guys now, from what happened, we'll just leave. Now I'm getting smaller and smaller with my description of the past. So for everything that happened, that might have been unfortunate, all things are still open. Access to everything that we create around the world, including music and my book, and a one-on-one with me if you want. And I bring as much light into you and remind you of how brilliant that you are as quickly as I can. And you can do all of that through, hey, you want to type that up and put that on the thing. So that's equinmusicllc.com. And that's my website. And you guys can go over there and look at all the artists that we represent around the world. We actually just on a little thing while he's doing that. When the 2020 election was coming up, I don't know if y'all are aware, but the inauguration parades and the bands and the person that's chosen to sing the national anthem on the Capitol steps and all that up until he was arrested was Roy Blunt's office. He headed up the inauguration committees through the military colonels. It's actually, I was really surprised when I first started doing this in 2016. But our artist, Barbara Badia, was the first runner-up on America's Got Talent. And she was vetted in, and they're ready to go. You remember Jackie Evancho did it for Trump in 2016. We also represented her. And I don't know why Trump likes America's Got Talent, like first runner-ups, but it seemed to be a theme. And also they sang at Mar-a-Lago once for one of his like 4th of July things. I think when she was younger, like before he ran for president, Jackie Evancho sang for him down in Mar-a-Lago. So that was a one-off like that. That was a quick speed dial because he had already known what she could do. And she was a novelty sensation. Anyway, so just the interesting thing about that is that the military colonels, when this last election, 2020 came up, when I was like, well, are we in, are we out? And they said, well, we already found out that Biden had won at that point. I appreciate that, Shane. Thank you so much. And I said, okay. They said, our duties are fulfilled as far as this 59th inauguration goes. And I said, can you elaborate? And he said, well, we went to one rehearsal. Then there was this external threat of a fire. A homeless shelter was on fire under the bridge. And then we were all told to pack up our things and go. And we never did go back and play for any inauguration. It was canceled. So I coupled that with my other intel that the inauguration never happened on the 20th in Washington. And then we found out other things. And I'm like, oh, well, that was all a relief to me, because I was like, I wanted to believe that Trump was still in power, that it was a military operation. But I didn't know for sure. And then all these other pieces started coming in. I'm like, okay, good. So I wasn't crazy. Yeah. And then they actually arrested Roy Blunt coming out of the Capitol. They have him in handcuffs. They arrested a lot of people.
So, anyways, anybody who missed last night's video, and I'm going to take this banner down. Hopefully anybody who is looking to reach out to him, they can reach out to him at the address, the URL at the bottom of the screen. So I'll give you guys a few more moments, and then I'll take that down and we'll launch into some other conversations.
Yeah. And somebody just said something about shamelessly plugging. That's not shamelessly plugging. That's I'm not paid to be here. And everybody establishes their own values, and the things that I bring. Already a lot of people have we've joined into a love fest is what it is. And I would love to. You don't have all the time in the world in an hour to field all questions, and so it's an opportunity for you. I think less shameful plugging and more opportunity would be a better way to feel about it. That's how I think of it.
Yeah. So anybody who wants to really see the light side of of the conversation. So we like to have a lot of fun, and we like to have
It's the best place to stay.
we
It
love
is the best place.
we love to cover some of the news.
Yeah. Well, it's
And-
kind of slow right now. I mean, we're kind of
Yeah.
trickling down, so it's good.
Well, the news cycle is kind of slow right now,
hmm
but I mean on the we also like to cover the culture and going into some of the cultural aspects that I'm not familiar with, guys. I am very much against just being boring. I like to have fun.
It took a while to
And-
get out. He's like looking. No.
Well, I was taking care
Yeah,
of that.
well,
But we like to
everything ties in. Everything ties in. I mean, you know, if we were to recap, I could speak on everything since Mena, Arkansas, with Bill and Hillary Clinton and their cocaine trafficking, all the way through the powerarchy that was thwarted from the American people, and now people around the world exactly when and where it happened, who's complicit, where they went. We could talk about the children that were tortured underground for adrenochrome. We could talk about the Wuhan labs. We could talk about direct energy weapons. We could talk about Starlink.
oh yeah,
we
we
could talk
a
about
lot
that
of
there's
things.
1,400 of the Starlink satellites up now under Elon Musk, and that it's going to be a brand new, much quicker internet after the FCC cancels all other internet connections through NESARA DESERA. We could talk about how there will be a total of 43,000 of them going all the way around in lower orbit, which is 450 kilometers up. We could go on forever about everything.
Oh, and tying stuff together. Isn't Jason gonna do a show about gardening? We're still talking about that. So, guys, definitely, if people
Gardening is great for you.
yeah,
It really is. It gets you. It works out all your angst.
you
I
know,
always say that we have a big farm, and we have a lot of tropicals that we winter downstairs and grow lights on timers, and we have a lot of gardens and all that stuff, and then we have vegetable gardens as well, and then we have the tropical with the banana trees and all that stuff. And I always say it keeps me from killing people. You know,
well, yeah,
because when you get your hands in the dirt, your mind, you just kind of exercise all that stuff out. It's really good for you.
and quite honestly, science has actually proven that gardening is actually extremely therapeutic because you're grounding yourself into
You're in the moment.
life. And
Yeah, you're in the moment. I'll put some pictures up of eventually of some of the stuff, or I'll give them to you, and you can put them up whenever you want to. When Jason's doing the show, we could talk about flowers and everything. I love it. I've got the front.
Nurse Bear 71. Sam and Barbara and I are talking tomorrow to get a plan for emergency preparedness for you. Awesome. And there are other people who have started actually communicating with me too in regards to different segments that they want to air.
Hey, proud patriot! I see you saying
So,
hi.
We are definitely going to expand and provide a lot more content. And yes, I know there are some people that are trying to take my channel down, and that's fine.
Can you imagine being in the business of trying to make sure that you destroy something else so that somehow that your swindled narrative is given some credence? Wouldn't that be a terrible place to be?
But
one step forward, two steps back all day.
So much for going to sleep too interesting. Sorry, Alpha. We only have 11 more minutes, so just don't drink any coffee. And
time flies when you're having fun.
We'll
that's a McCoffee.
So we'll come down easy, guys. I know why are QAnoners being platformed?
Platformed. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm not gonna.
This is really where we are. Okay. This is the most important thing that you could ever know. I've never ever said anything other than this. This is a battle between dark and light. The best way for you to do your part, if you're not a military soldier or a troop or a brigadier or under any kind of operation like that right now, which is really where the frontliners are actually getting this done, the best thing that you can do is to steady your vibration. And that means while you collect information about things that might overwhelm you, also remember the value of not letting it define you. Stay up, keep your vibration steady, be affirmative, help others, help your neighbors, do what you can, listen to your inner voice, follow discernment and intuition. You guys will always know the truth. You always do. You always do. Time always reveals. And right now is a really great time to not let all these things that the Biden cloned administration is Orwellingly doing that seems horrible, and the fact that they just stole an entire election, that we didn't let that go. Trust me, we didn't let that go. Everybody's been arrested. This is continuity of government show. So just hold on with it all.
So, guys, I was, one thing I do like to do, and I do go through TikTok every now and again, and I watch a lot of military veterans and a lot of people who are very knowledgeable in the law. And somebody was asking a couple days ago, so where does it talk about punitive action in regards to disobeying a unconstitutional order? I'm gonna bring this up, and then we're gonna, because something that DT said brought it to my attention.
Right.
So I'm gonna double check and make sure that I have the exact one that I'm supposed to use. And yep. Okay, so yeah.
My chair is squeaking. It's really not emanating from me, I promise. It's my chair.
Yeah, we'll pull this up.
Thank you, Darlene. So, yeah, I think I'll be here for a little bit.
The Uniform Code of Military Justice, Article 92. What happens? Here's what happens for failure to obey an order or regulation. The U.S. military considers it a dereliction of duty when a soldier is unable or unwilling to perform a job assigned to a military personnel. Okay, so you go down, and it says, not all general orders or regulations can be enforced. Some of them only issue guidelines or advice, and therefore do not fall under Article 92. So a lot of people are wondering, well, why? Why is it that most of the stuff that comes out is advice or guidance? Because they know that it does not fall under Article 92. They can still prosecute people for not following that, but they don't have the same protections that they would under Article 92.
Yeah, well, that's all part and parcel. Trump was approached by the military in late 2015 to run for the president of the United States, and they knew full well about the mini voting machine, Seidel and Smartmatic, corrupted DNA inside of voting machines, and they had to follow it in real time and watch it in many elections way before then. It's been Shane? It's been about 30 years at least that they've been swindling elections in the United States.
Well, the last 30
all the way down ballot, and Pelosi shouldn't be there. Schumer shouldn't have been there. So many. Feinstein should have never won. They swindled the machines in every single county for a long time. This is not new. This is just the biggest one.
DT, one thing I did notice is, if you actually look at the last 30 years, actually it's closer to 55 years.
Yeah, it's longer. I was being conservative because
you actually look, and there hasn't been an election that has been any further apart or closer than 10 million votes.
Yeah, check this out. I love running these numbers down. So every single American president that ever won the Oval Office won at least 95% of the bellwether counties. 95% of the bellwether counties. Barack Obama, Clinton, George W. Bush, Sr., going back, Ford, Nixon, going back. This election, Donald Trump won 19 of the 20 bellwether counties. Biden won 1. Okay. He also won Florida, Ohio, blah, 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 all these things. When it came time at that AM morning and they stopped all voting machines in the swing states, they had to find out how many that they needed to put Biden over that bar, and bang, 4:23 in the morning, 195,000 extra votes went straight line all the way up so he could make it over the bar. We saw it in real time. We have affidavits from Italy. We arrested the president of Italy. We arrested the Pope. The Buckingham Palace is dark. That's dark. Everybody was taken apart, and it's taken a while because this has been a long time, and so there's a lot of moving pieces. So when people get impatient that they don't think that we've won this, by the way, we've already won this entire thing. These people under plea deals. Look at Oprah interviewing Meghan and Harry. She had an ankle bracelet monitor on. She's under house arrest, just like our list said. Shane, you know that.
Yeah. But I'm going to go back to some of these comments real quick.
You can go down a rabbit hole so fast.
Yes, and
I've got Alice in Wonderland all around me.
That's kind of why I'm trying to pull back a little bit.
I know. You got to wrangle me. You got to put the bridle in.
Yeah. I wanted to. I am gonna have a sister channel that is set up specifically, guys, for going down the rabbit holes. If people want to go down the rabbit holes, I will have that set up today, so we could do broadcasts on both.
Yeah, the new F-bomb isn't the old F-bomb, by the way. It's that other word that if we say it, I guess we can get taken down. We can't say that other F word.
I'm not sure which
election.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Beep.
So I try to keep things very, very, very clear that the stuff, these are our opinions, because people can fact check me all they want, but the last time I checked,
if they bother to look, so that's good.
Facts and opinions are different from each other. An opinion you can't fact check. It's somebody's belief. So hair
of the dog.
Yeah, we like to have a little bit of fun, but I try to keep pretty close to the straight and narrow, especially with this one, because believe it or not, I've actually been able to keep up for quite a while.
I think that rabbit holes have gotten a bad name.
Yeah, they have, but
they've been extorted. Of course, that would be obvious, and that's okay. We don't concentrate on anything missing.
According to Proud, you're starting to look like an orange man. I think it's a light in front of you, shining on your skin.
It's all the beautiful tan from Palm Springs and in my big bright peachy mango shirt and red hat.
So,
but if I have to be considered the big bad orange man, I want to jump on that, because we know who the other one was.
So, do we have the link? No, I don't. I will get that set up, and then I will post it in the Signal platform for everybody. And yeah. So anybody that wants, we'll post a link today, and people, if they want to go down it, they can. And I want to be respectful of everybody.
Right. It's really important, isn't it? Because you can't create for somebody else, and so they could anybody in the world could white knuckle you because they attach their identity to finding out new things. So my best recommendation is use the internet. It's a smart tool, and it's only as limited as your imagination. So form the best words that can come to your mind, put them in a browser, and go find out some things for yourself. I can encourage you and nudge you in the direction. It's up to you, of course, to go on and do it. Ultimately, we've already won this entire thing. So sit back more, enjoy the show, have a good time with you and your family, and love on people. That's my message.
Absolutely, and I think it's important. People people think that, and somebody's asked me, and they're like, "So is he gonna hijack your show?" I'm like, "No, I'm not worried about it." I said him.
No, I am. Yeah, we're not co-anchors. I'm just a guest.
Yeah, so we'll talk over each other every now and again, but I mean, one thing that really found out one thing that I found out is that there are some people out there. um, I was talking to a buddy of mine who's a Fed out in California, and he works in the federal office. Well, he's an FBI agent. But I was talking to him and I was asking him, well, what do you do about certain internet crimes? And I was like just curious. I wanted to know what you could do. And he said, internet crimes are very hard to prosecute, but he said if there's malintent and it's proven and you can prove it through documentation, he said you people that perpetrate these crimes and you can actually prove the crime, the minimum sentence on bullying online on the federal system is 5 years.
Wow.
Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
It's kind of crazy because I mean I have a lot of different people that I talk to, federal officers, intel people that I've met over the years. I conduct training with a company out of Oklahoma. They're an intelligence group.
Yeah.
Out of Tulsa.
Okay.
So, okay, people want to know what the resource page is. Okay, so give me just a second and I will. So
yeah, and as far as an influence campaign, everyone, that the time for you to kind of let it define you and throw you off center to influence, or what I call the influence campaign, has come to a close. So don't invest anymore in concerning yourselves with if everybody's going to go your way, or if you're going to be able to convince everybody that to watch out for the boogeyman anymore. You know what? The best you can ever do for somebody else is to center your own vibration and find that place that is soothing to you, that feels like relief to you. And I promise you'll be the best version of yourself for anybody else that's relying on you or wants to be inspired by you. You'll be lighter because you won't be dragging all your crap from place to place. It's all good.
Yeah, and
I never notice anything missing anymore because I've gotten so much proof in the pudding back of the value of the benefit of what it creates that I no longer allow my saucer to wobble as we call it. I think that you can see it.
I think a lot of people are kind of all over the place.
Yeah, they're running around wondering. I've put that way in the past, and I know the benefit of it, and that's okay. By the way, if you're still doing that, you're doing it for experience until you realize that you didn't have to make a big old hot mess of this whole thing. You could have just kept up with who you've become and get on with it. It's okay. It's going to be all right.
But as far as people are concerned, guys, if you go to the resource page, we have everything the research links that we have used to verify different things. They're there. Airplanes, they're there. Weather, earthquakes, all that stuff, they're there. So yeah, we
Icelandic volcanoes, they're there. Mount Etna, it's there.
Anything in regards to stuff that Jason and I cover, They're in the research. In the research stage.
I love watching the Icelandic volcano. If you have not enjoyed it, they have a live stream. It is fascinating. They've had over 62,000 earthquakes in under Iceland over the last month. 62,000 of them.
Yeah,
You should see this volcano going. It's really beautiful to watch.
I mean, it's kind of like Kilauea out in Hawaii.
Oh no, no! I mean, Kilauea has nothing on this one. You need to go look at it.
I'll have to go check it out.
It's producing some lava like every day. They have a time lapse at the end of each day, and it's thrilling to watch.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to go.
We put it on the big screen for like our backdrop, on silent, and then we just go about our business, and we check back on the volcano to see how it's doing. It's fun. Where'd you go, Shane?
I was wiping my nose because my nose is running.
You got the allergies going. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The eruptions. Yes.
We mentioned things erupting, and your nose followed suit like a Pavlov's dog. Right?
Oh yeah.
It started running. Oh, we hope that it ends there, right? Okay. That's fun. Well, anyways, let's just go. I'll just put this out there. So we have the cargo Ever Given, and that's owned by Evergreen Corp that we know is Hillary Rodham and the Mossad and Barack's venture into child trafficking. We had the whole thing where they came out of the Red Sea and then it blocked traffic and shipping forever, and eventually 500 ships got blocked from the Russian side and from the U.S. side. The update on that is they have unloaded 20 of those containers. They've opened them up. They found some live and some dead children. They've arrested all the Indian crew, and it's sitting in the Bitter Lake right now with Russian and U.S. ships surrounding it on both sides. So there you go. There's that.
Yep. So there, and I did.
That's not a rabbit hole. That's actually public record. Just go and look. Okay.
No, and I know
that's a white hat operation. We hacked into the computer of it and drove it into the side of the canal on purpose.
It has been and continues to be a wicked allergy season. Yes, and in South Dakota, guys, we do want to definitely pray for the people in Rapid City, because I was talking to my sister last night, and she listens every now and again, but she over by her house, the fire actually came 10 feet away from her fence line of her house and probably a dozen other homes. So it was definitely an interesting thing that happened.
Yeah, we got buildings collapsing, 4-story buildings collapsing in DC. We got gunfight last night on the streets of DC. We've got California shootings. We got this and another thing. When you corner a furry little creature, no matter how beautiful and kind that it is, it's going to try to attack you in some way. That's the deep state cabal, what's left of it right now, spinning off false flag events everywhere to try to get people to go scrambling for crumbs. Don't let it throw you off center. Everything is good, and most of that is all crisis acting.
Time for truth. Hopefully she didn't listen last night. She was definitely listening. She called me.
Okay.
And she was laughing her butt off. So yeah, it's kind of funny. Her and I have a different dynamic. We were raised by different parents. I was adopted by one family. She was adopted by another. So biological siblings, but it was definitely interesting.
Aw, that's beautiful.
But yeah, so yeah, it's definitely interesting to have the dynamic from her knowing what I do and knowing what I'm talking about, and she laughs at some of the stuff and then there's some of the stuff that literally sits there and she'll be like, Shane, you're an absolute. Why the hell would you say that? Fill in the blank for the two words. I'm not gonna say them on
arsehole. Arse.
No. How about DA?
Don't be shy.
DA.
Oh.
So No, I do have an FCC license.
Dumas? What is that?
Yeah, I have an FCC license, DT. So I do have to be careful as so exactly what I say.
Well, DUMBs are deep underground military bunkers, so we can say DUMBs, right?
Yeah.
So
But
DUMBs, put it
going,
together,
going,
DUMBs.
going all
It just keeps
different
circling
reasons.
back.
People ask, well, why don't I go down the rabbit hole? Because I do have an FCC license.
Well,
and there are certain things that I'm able to go down due to clearance levels, and there are certain things that I don't even dare touch.
well, I was talking to Mel K over the last couple days. If y'all aren't familiar with her, and we were lamenting on how her and Charlie, there's been, he has over 8 million followers, and they were lamenting with me how he wasn't, she was, about how, she's an actress that's been in several things out in Hollywood, and we have a couple mutual friends. And she was lamenting to me about how when you put yourself out there, you're going to have a percentage, like your demographic analytics. You're going to have a percentage of people that want to squash excellence or truth because it makes them feel uncomfortable. And you're just going to have it. You just have to know it. You have to have a kind of a really interesting, beautiful skin, and not let it define you, and know what you're getting into. I mean, when you are on the cutting edge and being heroic in any way, hey, just think about our troops. Can you imagine if they got to the actual battle lines and the enemy was in front of them, that if they regarded the enemy's opinion of them, and then that handicapped them where they couldn't even draw their weapon because they were so concerned about the opinion of the person that they knew that they had to battle? It's not unlike that. It's not for everybody. You have to have a steady constitution, and you just have to kind of like know that it's there's going to be haters. Taylor Swift, there's going to be haters everywhere that you go. There's going to be haters. There's been so many people that have created fake accounts. The official Mel K, the official Charlie Ward show, the official Mel K and Charlie Ward show, and then they put all this ridiculous content on it, and that would feel horrible, wouldn't it? That if you were them, that would feel horrible. So just know that all the way up to even like a lot platforms that are garnering a lot more attention, it's just part of it. It's just part of it. So it's okay. I mean, you can't stop all that stuff. Okay.
Whack-a-troll.
Oh, somebody said I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I love Cocoa Puffs. It also dates him. You can tell that he was, because nobody knows that it's not under 40.
Oh, I do.
Actually, I never liked Cocoa Puffs. Cocoa Puffs were the chocolate ones, and I never liked that. My thing was, unfortunately, what it did to the top, the roof of your mouth, was Captain Crunch and, of course, Fruit Loops. I always loved Handmaid's Tale, where it says, blessed be the fruit. I want to make some t-shirts that say blessed be the Fruit Loops. I thought that'd be funny. Or fruit cake. Nobody likes fruit cake. So anyways, I just wanted to embody his comment. This guy's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. There you go. See? It manifested right in front of you.
Yeah. So,
I mean, he was literally embodying exactly what I was talking about. As I was saying that there is all of that malice out there that would love to tackle somebody's information and intent during these perilous times, that there is such derision of people that are sitting at home, wasting all their time and energy and value on trying to whittle down. I mean, you call it trolls, right?
Oh,
Basically,
yeah.
trolls. I mean, we have trolls across our social media platforms and entertainment, of course. Of course.
We like to play whack-a-troll a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I think that you get really good at ignore because you know the value of it. You just know the value of it. By the way, people are beautiful and good vastly across the country. all countries. They would love to divide us, but people actually will go out of their way for you. Black, white, gay, straight, rich, poor, fat, skinny, legal, illegal, old, young. It didn't seem to matter. Wherever that we ever went, people were the same everywhere. And so don't ever believe actually that people are against each other out here. We're not. When it comes to practically, like in the stores and in at your stores and your gas stations and wherever that you go and wherever that you're waiting in line somewhere, people are always very generous and kind. It's very, very rare that you'll get somebody that's so broken that they've got to bring their garbage out into public and try to, make somebody's day horrible. So I don't believe it. You know what I mean? I don't believe it.
Yeah. And it's pretty funny when people really break down the concept of trolling, because I mean, quite honestly,
it's okay. A show about trolls would definitely be in the opposite direction of feeling great and using the platform to telegraph pivotal information that people can use to educate them and shore up their families during these perilous times. Certainly, doing a show on trolls would be perfectly lovely and fit them perfectly.
I think it would be.
But why don't they get their own show on trolls, and they can have their Wishnick dolls and everything? It'd be fun.
I think it would be a blast to do something like that, because it'd be like,
oh right, have the whole animated thing. We could have a store with the trolls and everything. We could even call one Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That'd be fun.
But guys, as always,
I'd be facetious.
Must come to an end.
Yes.
So, guys, remember 7 p.m. tonight, and I know I've received over a dozen notifications that there's a possibility that my YouTube channel is about to be taken down. I'll just give you guys a heads up that we might not be able to broadcast on YouTube, but we'll get it fixed.
By the way, guys, I have a powerful thing that I always say as a thing to somebody that is trying to tackle you down, and it works great. So let's all just say together, bless them as they go. Bless them as they go. Because when you do that, you don't involve yourself with the vibration, and the universe takes care of the rest of it, which is really fun to watch.
Yeah, but
bless them as they go.
As always, guys, we are literally discussing stuff. Sometimes it's a little bit different than the other. Well, guess what? That's part of life. That's the way we do things. We don't really control where the conversation takes us. We let the conversation take control. But
a lot of apologies.
As always, you guys.
I make no apologies.
You guys have a pen and a microphone. Use them. The silent majority can no longer stay silent. God bless you guys. God bless the United States of America. We will see you at.
Love you guys. Thanks, Shane. Okay. Bye-bye.